So I will just be giving a few highlights because I think at this point I must give a salute to the speakers, my friend, Mr. Dideji that just finished speaking, and Mr. Adelabu that also spoke earlier today. I have learned a lot from what you have said, and I think what I'll be saying will not be far from some of the things you have said, and that means that what I'll be discussing or what I will be talking about is just going to be more like highlights of some of the things you have mentioned earlier. I am unable to share my screen. I don't know if someone can allow me from there. So I can just pick a few points and also give us um, maybe drill down on what Mr. Dedeji had spoken about in trying to, okay, thank you, in trying to drive home some of the points he's been making. Okay, a moment, please. All right. So, I believe we can all see my screen. Please let me have a confirmation on that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So basically, we're talking on scaling up your business and implementing accounting process for business growth. And we have made mention of several things, but one of the points I also want to mention, which is tying some of the things we've been discussing since we started this conversation, is this note from Charles Darwin. It was attributed to him, but some say it was from the theory of evolution. It said it's not the strongest of species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most responsive to change. And if you look at growth itself, it's kind of a change. It's kind of trying to uh, uh, change what you're doing and improve on it to become better. And of course, as we understand some things, it helps in the decisions we make. So some of those things are what we're going to be highlighting, and then we go to a demo of what uh, we can achieve as professionals in our various fields and industry with data. I remember Mr. Dedeji was talking about goal setting, data gathering, review gathering, feedback discussion, documentation, and follow-up. Some of these things, all these things are very important and they are salient to successful growth in our businesses. Applying accounting process and engaging the technology platforms that can speed up, catalyze our growth. So now, just a few introduction. Whether you're a startup or a scaling enterprise, having the right financial system in place provide clarity, control, and confidence needed to grow. It's good to start a business, but like other speakers have said, the objective of any business, in fact, what keeps a business alive is growth. We famously must have gone through a period in our schooling that tells us about the characteristics of a living thing, and one of the third item there is G, which is growth. So growth is important, but growth, we need to have a system. We need to understand that we need to build bring some element together that gives clarity, control, and the confidence we need to grow. And of course, some of those elements we'll be discussing in the place of in line with our conversation in this session. So, as growth accountant, which is just a tag for because of the topic we're having. You just don't crunch numbers. We need to build financial engine that powers our business success. Because when data are not trained, they become confusing. In fact, a lot of things again, to borrow a quote from, and that was shared earlier, figures don't lie, and fortunately, liars will figure in the at last, because some of the things we keep in our books that are not properly automated or properly modeled are actually indices of our performance. So if those things are not properly arranged, gathered, reviewed, we could be doing a business in a chaotic manner, in such a way that we looks like if we are making traction, but rather we're actually losing fuel. So as growth accountants, we have to ensure that we don't just crunch numbers, we also build platform, system, process, people that ensure that we can turn all those figures to help our clarity of our performance, and also gain momentum. Of course, momentum leads to growth. So looking at the people, process, technology triangle, which are elements for business growth, I'm just running through because I know there will be questions this two-man presentation. So people is very important. I can't say more because that's been said, and the willingness to adapt to change and embrace new ways of working are very important. In fact, the way industries are moving in this age, to stay still is to stink, because many things are changing simultaneously and very fast. And in fact, if technology people seem to see things are fast, then it means that other businesses that depends on it also have to think of a way to adopt some of those things to boost their to serve as a leverage to boost their business growth. So people are very important in this element, and that has been discussed. And then we go to process. Whatever we are going to do on the technology side. Let's remember we're talking on leveraging technology part 2. Whatever we're going to be talking about on the technology side, it's anchored on process, because process is very fundamental to how technology thrives. If the process is not, in fact, most of the time, what technology does in a lot of situations is sometimes it re-engineers business processes. Because if technology comes on board, and that is the reason there are lots, sometimes it leads to resistance from users if they are unwilling to adapt to that re-engineering that is coming on board. So process is very important to the success of any business, because eventually how the process is handled will determine whether it's going to be the business is going to be profitable or not. And then we look at technology. Technology is basically a leverage, is an enabler. So it enables people to do better. It enables process to be faster, to be streamlined. It enables process to be optimal. So, and those are the efficiencies needed for growth. Those are the efficiencies needed for growth. Those are the things that we need to pay attention to in our business and in how we handle accounting process, because again, all this plays together. All the figures we see in our books, they are telling us something that we may not pay attention to and may be difficult to manually work out, except when technology is addressed, is applied to it. So technology is just to automate, not just to automate, but a leverage and an enabler for the business. And we will look at some of the few things that technology does here. I hope you can see. Okay, good. All right. So now When we talk about technology, what we're talking about? We're talking about automation. We're talking about you are reducing the manual process of doing things. We want to ensure that our process is fast, is better, is easier to use. So, and that also helps eliminate errors that could have come in place, because the truth is, once technology is properly is properly built to address a system, the chances of error are quite slim, are much slimmer than human, because systems don't understand the emotion to a level. Before we start talking about AI now, that some other things are built in it, but systems really generally only operate based on instructions. And so once that instruction is applied, every other thing follow suit as it should. And then we can look at integration. So leveraging technology for our accounting process. Integrations are also very important. In the world of today, where everything is built around technology, there are really no silos, because even systems that were built as silos are actually now finding a way to connect to other systems to help drive their customer satisfaction. Because in this age, and of course, business are built for customers and not the other way around. That means a business only exists when there's customers, when there are clients. Not a client exists, a customer exists for business. No. So it then means that for business growth and to handle accounting processes, we must be able to say system through where everything we do are interconnected and can actually deliver a value to both the internal stakeholders and, of course, the external stakeholders. So integration is very important in that regards. We cannot talk down security, because security in the long run, because of the volume, the value, and the velocity of information and data that moves across in trying to apply technology to various side of events in our business process, we must take security very important. We must take it as not just a icing on the cake, but more as a fundamental and integral part of any technology platform we are going to be adopting. Because eventually, just a little event or a small incident can escalate and destroy years of growth of a business. So as we apply technology, we also have to be considerate and properly question certain things about the security. Now, the scalability is also quite important. Now, having spent over a decade in the finance and banking payments industry, particularly in line with applying technology to the processes, one of the things that has shown up as several engagements with a lot of clients and a lot of institution is a lot of time use of technology to address an existing issue does not scale to address future opportunities. And so you see a situation where an accountant is using Excel, very vast and good with it, but Excel is fantastic and is a means of analyzing quite a huge value of information. But when it compares to some other technology platform, for instance, what the banker does for its financial institution clients, it absorbs all the uh, all the how am I going to put it? All the tiny bits and pieces where there is a huge chance of error if something is missing somewhere, and then eventually the report gets uh, fluttered, and then things get confusing. So scalability is a very big part because as we want to grow, of course, we know that our customer base grows along, our value chain grows along, our chances of also integrating with other systems also grows along. So if our system is, if the technology we're adopting is not growing, for instance, if I have an Excel system that manages customer data, for instance, for a bank, and then I want to do I want my customer to be able to make payments, to be able to make transfers. I am yet to see a system that allows that, because no system will connect straight to an Excel prepared uh, uh, customer base. So we must think scalability. We must think scalability, no matter how small it is. A lot of times, technology enables all these things and make it easier for us to grow. Now, the last part in this conversation. Hello, am I still on? Hello,
Yes, you're
hello.
on.
All right.
All
So
right.
the last part in all right, thank you. The last part in this conversation is data visualization. Data visualization. So we're talking about leveraging technology. Like I said, most of the time the data we need is like a needle in a haystack. It's there, but you don't even know. And if you don't know, decisions will be flawed. You may think that your best customers are the ones that are in, they are corporate guys that are bringing millions into your account. But if you have good data, you may discover that is the market woman, is the artisan, is the you know, the hairdresser, the people that you really don't pay attention to. And if you don't know, you may be taking them out of your business, feeling that the big ones are the one that is driving your growth. Whereas the what is driving your growth is the velocity of the small ones that are coming in. So data visualization is very important, and that comes layered on business intelligence. If you don't know, of course, knowledge is basic. If you don't know, there's nothing you really can do. And that also talks about having an insight, having a foresight, and having an insight, because an insight tells you what has been happening. A foresight tells you what will likely happen, to predict what will happen. And insight is basically having a deep understanding of transitioning between what is happening to what you want to happen, which is the growth we're talking about. Okay, so uh I represent the Technical Info System as chief servant, and I would like to show a brief around how much we can do with uh, data properly uh, gathered, properly applied, and properly reviewed, so that we can be able to appreciate some of the things that we might have not been looking at regarding our business. Now, so I'm going to be sharing another screen now. A moment. Okay. Should I stand instead? Okay, so I'm just going to pick. This is just a, a, a report session of the entire suit, and this is just to show us a few things around what we can do with data. Now, because this is more like a small scale business, you can see balance sheet, we can see assets are increasing or decreasing. Those are values there. And then we can look at the income statements. We can see some of the what is happening if, for instance, looking at this chart is a pie chart or a donut chart. You can see interest income is higher for this business, and then other income is just 2.91%. And that means that most of this this institution's business is huge around interest income. Okay, so this is just a few details, just something we prepared for this meeting. But I can also show you another one that I believe we also help us understand how we can appropriate technology to help um, our business growth. And of course, as accountants, we can build our business processes to feed in data that can be modeled to show us what is relevant to our business and can help us grow that business. Now, English income statement, we can look at, we can just have a look at income statement here too. So that's a dashboard that gives you details of what how your data is doing, what's happening in your business. For instance, I don't know if you can see my screen clearly, it's a bit tiny, but let me see if I can zoom it in for you. Hello, can you see? Can anyone confirm if you can see this?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. So you can see the summary in terms of the revenues. We can see total cost of goods sold here, and we can see the selected year actuals, the previous year actual, current year against previous year actuals. We can see that. We can also see the percentage change somewhere there. So this speaks to your P&L, or maybe in deeper terms, statement of comprehensive income. So you can see at a glance, the distributor for the current year 2017 is having 17,373.59 there. And you can see the export, the wholesale, their figures and as well, and the total revenue, which is 56,566. And then if you come to profit, you see profit is 40. And if you look at it, look at the difference between what happened in the previous year against what happened in the current year. So you see that the previous year, which cost 2016, and the current year, there is a difference of $508.24, which is negative. It means that the profit dropped. It dropped. Now, so we can see that and also see the gross profit in percent relating to the total revenue. Now, that is one part of this. You can also see from here your total revenue in percent here, and then a gross profit, the changes in percent, actual versus current versus previous by summary. And you can see the net profit in percent. So If these had to be done by manually pushing figures, writing, I mean, it's going to be a lot of sleepless nights. And again, because we've talked about performance, we want to ensure that we are not just pushing people to perform, we are pushing our processes to perform, we are pushing everything that helps our business to perform, because in the long run, what we want to achieve is business growth. Okay, so this gives us highlight of total revenue, total expense, cost of goods sold, and then we have the cumulative somewhere there. Now we can also go back and look at some other things, and I think this other part will be more for time. I could have flowed through all this. This we help clients get this done, and you can also give trainings on things like this. All right, so let's just look at revenue insight, because this I think we can interact more on this. Now, we're looking at a date range, which is between August 18, 2017 and September 8, 2018. So this is giving us a figure of total sales, total profits, and then the profit margin. And you look at this, the top 5 customers by customer names, and then the top 5 cities by city name. Now, it is possible that because when we talk about business growth, we are talking about being able to know what matters and keep what matter important to our business, so that we don't lose that while pursuing, like I think the first speaker mentioned something similar to that. So we don't lose sight of what is growing our business while pursuing things that are not really having much impact, as it were. Maybe it's just a future experiment. Now, if you look at this, you see the customers, that the top 5 customers here, which is higher box, you see top 5 cities. So for a business that sees that the city that has highest sales is this, I think the best advice is to have a way of investing more here to see what is driving this performance, and also see how they can make it do better. As a Christian, I know there's this part of the scripture that says, when a tree bears fruit, you prune it and you grow more. But you must know the tree that's bearing fruit in the first place. So this is a one way. This is one means to be able to see your data, see your performance, see your growth, see your figures, analyze it, make decisive decision. For instance, we can also go further here and then say, even top sales. Where are we having the top sales in this area? For instance, okay, so now we've sorted this, and we can see that we have total sale, top sale from this company. However, the profit is not as much as even the next one. The profit is not as much as the next one. So we can see all these figures, and we can see sales on monthly basis, how it's moving, and that gives revenue insight. The truth is that there are 2 indicators of growth majorly, and when it comes to accounting, 1 is the revenue and 2 is costs, which is also say expense. So if we increase revenue and cost increase, of course, which we can see from using leveraging technology like this, we will be able to track down what is increasing the cost. And then if we can get a hold of that, we can then indirectly improve our profits. And if you see that revenue is coming down, even though costs remain static, we can also have a quick insight as what is happening before it becomes a clog in the wheel of the business, and then keep just moving on the same spot like a rocking chair. So if the business is going to grow, if we're going to be able to grow business, implementing accounting process, we also have to leverage on appropriate technology, no matter how little it may be, but we have to also engage that to drive the business. And some of most important is seeing all those data that fly through our system, capture them, gather them, review them, discuss them, follow up with them. Taken from the last session. So that's that's basically what I would like to show to us. I don't know if there are any questions that will for this session.